What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to the Shred Show Live. And apparently, I'm supposed to be numbering my episodes. Somebody reached out to me yesterday and said, "Hey, Josh, I don't know what number episode you are." Honestly, I have no idea what number I'm freaking on. We do so many of these and I started the Shred Show a while ago. Was kind of inconsistent, but now we're starting to get more and more consistent. I've done the last 3 days. So let's call this episode number 3 because I have no idea what episode we're on. So we're just going to shoot with episode number 3. Of course, it is September 11th, and just going to mention it real quick, a huge date to remember. I remember where I was, when it happened so many years ago, and shout out to all those veterans, all those who serve our country protecting it, and just in remembrance of this hallowed day. So with that, I want to move into we still have our logo on. Boom, let's take our logo off, there we go. But yesterday, I was actually talking about masterminds, and I had some incredible comments. Some people kind of chime in their thoughts with mastermind groups, and I'll kind of do like a recap tomorrow of mastermind groups versus coaching. But today I want to talk about coaching, and I want to start with a story. Back when I was in high school, I was an avid athlete. I played a little bit of football, but really where I excelled, at least I thought I excelled, was in track. As many of you know, I was a really big guy in high school. I weighed about 265 pounds, so a big dude. And I was, again, in my opinion, I was pretty good at track and field. Not running, because many of you are thinking like, you're 260 pounds. What were you, a freaking hurdler? No, I wasn't a hurdler. I was actually a shot put. I threw the shot put and discus. And I was pretty good. I was decent at those. My sophomore year went to state, and junior year went to state. And I had a coach during those 2 years. I had an incredible coach. I won't name names, but this coach, he took me under his wing. He saw that I had, some abilities to be a decent discus thrower, decent shot putter, and kind of took me under his wing. Kind of taught me everything that he knew. This guy was an Olympian. This guy was an incredible athlete. So he took me under his wing, taught me everything that he knew, and I was humbled by the opportunity. And I honestly learned so much in such a short amount of time and was just grateful for it. Like I said, my sophomore and junior year, made it to state, did really well my junior year in state. Unfortunately, going into my senior year, going into the winter, there's an indoor league and an outdoor when it comes to high school track and field. Going into my senior year, that coach actually got very sick and he wasn't able to coach me. So I had an interim coach basically take over. Now, this interim coach was actually my high school or my football coach. Him and I didn't see eye to eye. We actually didn't get along very much. And he honestly didn't know, I'm not going to name names. If you went to high school with me, you know who it was. But he didn't know track and field. He didn't know shot put. He didn't know discus. So he tried to come in as a coach and try to coach me on things that he didn't know. And he started saying, no, you have to do it this way. And he was a coach. And again, I don't want to bash it because some of you are going to be like, well, man, you're making up excuses and, don't blame your coach. But during those few months where he started coaching me, it was a very different style of coaching than my last coach. And it was very like, you need to do this better. You need to work harder, do this and this and this. And he actually made me change my entire workout routine. I went from, doing one set of workouts in the gym into really practicing and throwing shot put and discus. Almost, I would say 95% of it is technique. It's not all about muscle. It's not all about just throwing it as hard as you possibly can. It's a lot of technique. But this coach was like, no, it's all muscle, all muscle, all muscle. So I was in the gym, hitting the gym, every single day. And he wanted me to put up state records in lifting and just started changing my focus. And unfortunately, it changed so much of my muscle memory and my rotation and everything that I did during shot put and discus that going into the spring season, I actually saw a decline, like from what I was doing the year prior to what I was actually doing that year. Long story short, I didn't even make it to state my senior year in discus. I made it in shot put, but unfortunately, I fell apart. And again, I'm not blaming everything entirely on this coach. Much of it was myself, but I want to show the difference because for my sophomore and junior year, had an incredible coach. Then I had a coach who really didn't know. He thought he knew what he was doing, and he actually kind of screwed up my routine, and it threw me off. Fast forward to my beginning years in the mortgage industry. The company that I was with, they actually hired this coach to come in, and he didn't know mortgage at all. He just was kind of a business coach, And this business coach, I was doing pretty good. I was kind of getting momentum, and he kind of came in and is like, well, hey, you got to do things this way. You got to do things this way. And it kind of threw me off my groove and just wasn't working. And clearly, it just didn't fit for my style of doing business. Ended up getting rid of that coach, then got another coach, and that coach changed almost everything for me. That coach, once I hired that, I personally hired that coach, my first coach, our company was hiring, so I didn't take it seriously anyway. But my second coach, I personally was paying for him, and that changed everything for me. I saw my business almost double in a very short amount of time. It was keeping me accountable, keeping me really focused on what I should be, and I saw my business completely change. And I was so very grateful for that coach, still to this day, so very grateful for a coach. So why I share these two stories, why I bring these things up is because we get asked a lot, Jason and I here at Shred. First and foremost, we're not coaches. We do not coach. Part of Shred, we're not coaches. Some of you know I had a company for a very short time that I did do coaching, but kind of got out of that field because, in my opinion, there was a whole bunch of people jumping into the coaching world because they couldn't hack it in the production world. Just calling it plain and simple as I saw it. But now fast forward to today, there are some incredible coaches out there, and I personally believe that having a coach can absolutely help your business. But you need to find a coach that knows where you're at, can understand, and can help you reach that next level. You can't hire a coach that maybe they've never been there before, they don't understand where you're at currently. You really need to have somebody who's laser focused on where you're currently at, and they can help you get to that next stage. I think that there's some incredible coaches that I know: Bill Hart, Todd Duncan, Next Level Loan Officer Group, Kenneth Travis, Sean Zalmanoff, Kellen Vaughn, Shane Kidwell, Darren Copeland. And again, some incredible coaches all across the country. And when it comes to hiring a coach, if you're ready for a coach, I recommend kind of testing the water, seeing who, number one, what's their track record? Look at their community, their organization, who's in it currently. Are there people that are at the same place? Are there people above where you're at, so you can kind of tap into those resources as well? Coaches can be absolutely the most valuable part of growing your business, but you need to make sure you're hiring the right coach at the right time. So, like I've shared in my stories, if you have the wrong coach, it can actually hinder your progress. You can take a step back. So when it comes to finding this coach, take time. The mistake that I see with a lot of people, whether it's mortgage or real estate, is they'll just go out and hire a coach. Like they're just like, well, I know I need a coach. I'm ready for it. My business is booming. So they'll all go out and just hire the first coach, or they'll hire the cheapest coach or the most expensive coach. And that's just not the way to hire a coach. You really got to find a coach who understands you, who understands your business, how you want to grow your business, and then you can really start to test the waters with that coach. If there's ever a coach or a coaching program that is just like, well, here's why we're the best, here's why these other guys suck, and you have to use us, I would not recommend going with that organization, because anybody who's willing to toot their own horn in that own way, honestly, they have something to hide. If you see a coaching organization, and that's why some of the coaches that I mentioned, they're always highlighting the success of their community, of their group. They're highlighting the success of their members. And those are the coaches that I truly see as valuable, because it's track record. I mean, you truly see what they've been able to accomplish, what the people they're coaching, what they've been able to accomplish. So when it comes to coaching and hiring a coach, I wanted to talk about this because, again, there's a lot of people who ask Jason and I when it comes to coaching and masterminds. And so tomorrow on the show, we're actually going to compare the two. And there are some coaching organizations that have masterminds in them. And there are some mastermind groups that don't really have coaches. They're just there to be a mastermind group. So when it comes to a coach, guys, make sure you're doing your research, you're doing your due diligence. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out to Jason and I. We're going to give a very honest and very third-party opinion. I've told everybody, Jason and I are very clear, we don't have third-party affiliations. We just don't do that because it really detracts. Because if there's a coaching organization paying us to send them referrals, we can't give our honest opinion. So we will give you our 100% honest opinion. That's kind of the nice thing about what we do, is we get to give you a 100% honest opinion on what we feel and what we know and what we've seen throughout the entire industry within mortgage, real estate, insurance, and all those above. So Hopefully you guys got something valuable out of this episode. If you're joining us live, make sure you comment #shred. If you're joining us on the replay, comment #hustle because you're out there hustling and making it happen. So thanks for joining us. Make sure you join in and tune in tomorrow morning as we talk about coaching versus masterminds and the two combined. Should be a lot of fun. If you have questions or if you have comments, make sure you comment them below. If you have questions about coaching or if you're currently being coached, feel free to comment below saying, hey, I'm being coached. I'd love to hear about your experience or who you're coaching with as well. I'd love to hear who you're using and who's helping you grow your business. With that, guys, you got to show up, you got to hustle, and got to repeat every day. See ya.